I'm Alex.
And I'm Kris, and you're watching Thanks, We Hate It
with Alex and Kris. Okay, wow.
Big episode today.
Fuck yeah,
I'm excited about today's.
Me too. Me too. This one actually, surprisingly enough, this one actually required me to do a little bit of research because I'm not really super into horror TV shows.
Oh, I am.
Which is funny. It's I don't really know why. There's a couple that I like, but
there's some really good ones, especially right now.
Yes.
We're in a renaissance of horror right now.
Yes, we are.
There's good horror TV. There's good movies coming out. There's good indie horror coming out.
Yes.
So that's not what this episode's about, though. It's about the worst of horror television.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Yes. So I've got a couple on here that are just the whole show in general bad, and then I've got a couple where it's just one episode or one season that I didn't like.
And I have all of them are shows, actual shows. And I do have to be fair, some of these I actually haven't seen, but I already know that. But I was actually, you know what? That was a lie. Some of them I've seen bits and pieces of, but there is one on here that I haven't seen, and I looked it up and was like, why was this even manifested? Why would somebody do this?
Yep.
So
I've seen all of the ones on my list because I didn't think it would be fair. I know of some other really bad ones that are rumored to be really bad, but because I hadn't seen them, I didn't think it was fair for me to judge them.
Okay.
But do you, girl.
Like I said, there is one on here that I'm I already know for a fact, that this is some fucking horseshit.
I think I might know which one you're talking about.
It's kind of elusive, but well,
let's get into it.
Let's just do it.
What's your number 5?
My number 5 is I am going to talk about this series on Netflix called Haunted. It's supposed to be kind of like a documentary of people explaining a lot of their paranormal experiences, and it's combined with the reenactments. It's kind of like a haunting, on I know Discovery Plus has it, so Travel Channel, but this was just this was not a good format. I feel like the way they did it was they were trying so hard to blend fact and fiction because it looked fake. It didn't look like a real documentary. These people, to me, they didn't seem like real people. To me, they seemed like actors,
It felt like the Roanoke season of AHS.
Yes. Perfect. That's what
it felt like, which isn't one of my favorite AHS seasons.
Yes, no. I didn't like that one either.
It's not my least favorite, but it's not one of my favorite ones.
Right.
I appreciate that they tried to do something different, but it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So with The Haunting, I did see a couple episodes of that, and that's exactly what it reminded me of.
Yeah, it seems like I can't tell. I can't tell, is this fake? Is this real? So and obviously they made it very clear that it is nonfiction, that these things are very real, but it's still really hard for me to tell, and I just don't like how it was executed. Not a fan.
Nope, I get it.
Not a fan.
I get it.
All right.
So my number 5 is actually Friday the 13th, the TV series. And this is from the 80s, 90s, whatever. I don't hate this series, but it has nothing to do with Jason Voorhees, Camp Crystal Lake, anything to do with the Friday the 13th series. It's a really cool show, actually. It's about this shop, and everything in it's cursed, and they wind up giving everything away, and then they find out, oh, no, you needed to keep those and lock them in the vault. So the show's about them, going and getting all these cursed items back and trying to lock them in the vault or whatever.
Right.
It's not a bad show. The problem is, why is it called Friday the 13th?
Exactly.
It wasn't originally called that. It was originally called the 13th Hour. But the creators wanted to capitalize off of the popularity of the Friday the 13th series, and that's what happened. It has literally nothing to do with Jason at all.
No.
I don't think he's mentioned once.
No.
In it. I don't think Camp Crystal Lake's mentioned. Pamela is not mentioned. Not one thing.
Yeah, they were just banking on a title that had nothing to do with the movies.
Right.
Exactly.
It's a bait and switch is why it's on my list. It's not that it's a bad
100%.
series, it's that it's the bait and switch that I don't appreciate.
Yes. I 100% agree, and that's actually my number 4.
So let's get right into it.
Yeah, so that's also, I feel like, I don't know, man, you covered a lot of it.
Right.
I mean, there's really nothing else to kind of hash out on that.
That's the only problem with it.
Yeah. You're right, it's not a bad, if it was a different title, I'd probably be into it, you know, but the fact that you used Friday the 13th good name,
right.
you know, and fucking slandered it, you know, that's bothersome.
Yeah.
So, but we covered that one, honestly. There's really not much else to hash.
Well, you steal mine sometimes, so
that is true.
It's only
fair.
True. All right, well then my number 4, and I'm sorry if this is also on your list, but is The Mist.
Oh, okay.
From 2017.
Yep.
On Spike Channel. And it feels like something that was made for the Spike Channel.
100%.
My problem with this is it's a short story by Stephen King, if you didn't know, that was already stretched into a movie. There's not enough there for a series, first of all, in my opinion. Second of all, it didn't have any of the tension or fear that is required for that story.
Sure.
The special effects were kind of wonky. It didn't work.
I don't understand how you could make something like that into a series. It's a story where y'all are trapped in a supermarket, and it's not like, you know, and it's not like Walking Dead, you know, where it's like you kind of go from place to place to place, you know, with zombies. In this case, you don't know what's in the mist, or you know what's in the mist, but you don't know.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like, you can't really move anywhere to avoid it.
Exactly. We don't need an expansion on this world.
No.
Just these people that we already saw in the story and then in the movie was enough to tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a world that needs expansion.
Correct.
Like, we don't need to see different groups surviving the mist. We just don't. So I think that's why I think it only got like 10 episodes before it got canceled or something, but
there's not enough content. Like, there
just really
enough.
isn't. Like, of all of Stephen King's stuff, that's what you're going to turn into a TV series?
Right?
Like,
okay. All right. Number 3 already.
Yeah.
I got to bring up High School of the Dead.
I've heard of this. I haven't seen it.
Don't. Please don't fucking watch it. Don't. It's, okay. I don't know exactly what vibe they were going for. They were obviously going somewhat towards the direction of horror, but they sexualized it so fucking hard. And this is supposed to be high schoolers. Like, you're not...
Well, they're 90210 high schoolers. That's all.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but the fact that, you know, you're putting a lot of sexual emphasis, you know, on high schoolers during a zombie apocalypse is... I understand
there's other
high
shit
school.
to worry about.
Exactly. And I understand high school is full of sexual experiences and a lot of sexual feelings and things like that. I get that. But I feel like you should just leave that out of the zombie apocalypse equation. You know,
Agreed.
I really fucking do.
Agreed.
You know?
All of Us Are Dead is on Netflix right now. Please watch it. That's great. And it's the same thing. Zombie apocalypse. It's about a bunch of kids stuck in a high school, and they've all got crushes on each other and stuff, but nobody gets it on. Like, they're surviving a zombie apocalypse.
Exactly.
Like, and so yes, sometimes in their downtime, the feelings stuff comes up, but they don't have time to go sneak off to a closet and do it. You know.
Right.
So I think All of Us Are Dead might be the better version of what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, High School of the Dead, like, there wasn't any, like, from what I could remember, there wasn't anybody, like, hooking up or anything. It was just the imagery. So it was, like, dead fucking ass. Like the fucking hentai boobs. Like, the boobs that are so fucking large and they actually made, like, boing sounds in the fucking show. And I'm like, there's no reason. There's no fucking reason.
I also don't get
like,
the whole drawing boobs bigger than women's heads thing.
Yeah, I mean...
That would hurt. Like, in real life, that would hurt to carry that around.
I mean, shit, if that's
she'd be
what
walking
women want...
like this. Like,
right? Like, I mean, shit, I mean, if that's what women want... Like,
if she wants to do it, fine, but,
great,
like,
but it's not realistic, to me at least.
Right.
But it might be somebody else's cup of tea, so who fucking...
If you want big boobs, ladies, get them, but don't do it for men, do it for you. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, moving forward.
All right, so my number 3 is Hemlock Grove from 2013 on Netflix. Now, initially, I did like this show. I was actually really interested in this show. It stars Bill Skarsgård and Famke Jensen, who I love her so much. And it had a really cool, like, because it's about werewolves and all this strange stuff happening in this town and stuff. And the werewolf transformation was really cool. But I don't know, at some point, I just kind of lost interest and stopped watching. Like, the story just didn't keep me in, which is very disappointing because it was a well-cast show. I feel like it was well acted. I like the actors in it. the story got boring, I think.
Yeah.
It just
dried up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know what show you're talking about, and I've seen bits and pieces of it, and
it was really hot in the beginning.
Yeah. I mean,
my hormones might have been what kept me watching at the beginning.
Like I said, the couple of scenes that I saw and everything, it looked good, and at one point I was like, I really should watch it, but I never did.
I think what happened with me was I started watching Penny Dreadful, and then that was so much better that I was like, well, I don't care about Hemlock Grove anymore. I'm gonna watch Penny Dreadful and watch all 4 seasons of that.
If that's something that's gonna keep your attention more, for sure.
Let's move on. Your number 2.
All right, my number 2, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. God damn it! Like, no, I'm fucking sorry, but no. Like, I understand. I understand, like, the angle that they wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I understand, the aesthetics that they wanted to use. And it's cool. Like, I'm not denying that. Like, it's a great idea. And it's clearly very marketable and very doable.
They upset the Church of Satan.
That is why I brought that. This is why they're actually on my list. Is they really appropriated a lot of satanic principles, if you will.
And perverted them.
And, totally. Like, everything that's portrayed in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is 100% wrong. So, when you watch it and you see all of the practices and everything going on, that is not even fucking close to what the Satanic Temple stands for. And I identify myself as not necessarily, like, a true, like, Satanist, but I do vibe with a lot of Satanist principles.
Yeah, because they're all basically just behave and leave people alone. Like,
don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
That's literally all the principles you can sum into one. Don't be a fucking dick. Do no harm, but take no shit.
Right.
So even if something happens to you, you can serve that energy right back because they did it to you. Mm-hmm. So anyway, seeing Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, God damn, so that's why I went on my rant, honestly, because it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, you guys are taking something that's, actually, good, and something that's progressive, and you're turning it in, you're villainizing it, essentially.
Yeah.
I get that show.
I have not seen one episode of that show. I like the old Sabrina Archie comic books. I like the Sabrina show with Melissa Joan Hart. I grew up with that.
Yes.
And when this came out, I was so hesitant because I was like, darker Sabrina? I don't know. Mm-mm. And now I'm glad I didn't.
I already knew I was gonna fucking hate it. I already knew. Because, again, like you, I grew up with, Sabrina, the Archie comics. And, I grew up with, Sabrina and fucking loved that show. I watched it constantly. Salem was my favorite.
I know.
I love him so fucking much. And
I was really mad when they were out of high school, there was no more Harvey, and she was dating, what was his name? Josh or whatever. The guy that Blossom's boyfriend. Mm-hmm. He played Blossom's boyfriend on that show too. And I hated him on that show too. That guy, I hate that guy. I just hate that guy. Every show he went on to play somebody's boyfriend, I was like, break up with him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the college years for Sabrina were touch and go for me, but I stuck it out.
Right? No, that fucking show is beautiful. I do love, like, OG Sabrina. Mm-hmm. Hard fucking core. But yeah, no, that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. It's upsetting, but I had to say it.
All right, my number 2 is an episode, and it's from 1996, Tales from the Crypt, Season 7, it's Episode 4.
It's a nasty little shriek and destroy mission I call Escape.
Now, I don't like war movies or war stuff to begin with. It's just not my genre. I'm not interested in it. And this is about a guy who basically betrays the rest of his soldiers. He gets taken as a POW, and while he's in
World War II, right?
yeah, while he's in the POW camp, There's one of the guys that he betrayed is there, and that guy is threatening to basically out him and tell everyone that he's a traitor. And this stands out to me because it's not a Tales from the Crypt episode. It's played very straight. There's none of the camp. There's none of the fun. There's not really any horror. Like, I don't like this episode. There's a few bad episodes of Tales from the Crypt, but at least they still feel like Tales from the Crypt episodes.
Well, and at least they follow the guidelines of obviously
this
what
was
Tales
just,
from the Crypt
I don't know what
established.
this was. It just came out of nowhere to me. It doesn't fit the rest of the series. It doesn't fit a Tales from the Crypt story. I don't like it.
I would 100% agree with you. I do remember that episode, and I thought it was very boring. I was like, this is not fun at fucking all. And Tales from the Crypt, guys, if you're not familiar, is supposed to be very fun. Very fun.
Very campy, very tongue-in-cheek, you know?
Very, very, very much so. So yeah, I feel like with that episode, they definitely went a little too serious.
Yeah. Season 7 falters a lot, I think. But this one especially, like I said, it just doesn't feel like it belongs here. Mm-hmm. It's not a story that belongs here.
Yeah. If you want good stories that I personally, season 4.
I do like season 4.
Season 4 in my personal opinion is the best one. I also think season 2 is pretty fucking solid.
I was just gonna say 2.
Yeah,
I like season 2.
2 and 4 are 100%. That is where it's at, and I implore all of you to watch those, at least those 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. 2 and 4 were like peak fucking hype Tales from the Crypt. Yep. And especially
all the classic ones, I think, are in those 2 seasons.
Yes, and when again, all the celebrities were getting really involved. You know, you had fucking Tom Hanks, you had Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Demi Moore,
you had Demi Moore, Jeffrey Tambor. You know, I mean, like you had like the best of the best doing Tales from the Crypt. People who normally don't do horror at fucking all, but they wanted to get in on it. You know, and it's chef's kiss.
Yep.
Season 2 and 4.
Yeah.
100%.
Season 7, which I think is the last season, is where it faltered a little.
Right, because that was when they did that in the UK, right?
I think
they did a lot of their shit in the UK, probably for budget reasons.
Right. All right. So number 1.
Number 1. Okay, so I didn't watch it, but I really want to talk about Monster Squad. Apparently, there was a show that was made. And apparently they wanted to make the antagonists, so like the bad monsters, if you will, not the monsters that the kids befriended. They wanted to make them like crime-fighting superheroes. So they were trying to make them like anti-heroes, and it was
like The Boys.
no, like yes and no, but like the monsters who are doing it,
right.
You know. I don't know how I fucking did not hear about this, because I love Monster Squad. It's a great fucking film. So I'm like, that weird.
Yeah.
Why would anybody? Nobody who's gonna fucking watch that. Like, nobody's gonna watch that. When you're clearly making these people the villains, but then they're gonna fight crime. Right. But that's it. That's my number 1.
All right. Well, my number 1 is actually from a series that I love, American Horror Story, and it's my least favorite season, Cult. Mm-hmm. From 2017, and it airs on FX if you didn't know. Now, normally I like cult shows. I really do. This one was too real. It was too real at a time where this stuff was really happening in real life.
Too much of a reflection on societal.
They even had to edit down a mass shooting in one of their episodes because a real life mass shooting happened a couple days before it was supposed to air. It was just too real. And for me, it's watching these mediocre white men who feel that they should be in charge of everything while keeping everyone else under their boot. We were seeing that happen. And so American Horror Story wasn't the escape that it normally was for me that season. It hurt. I've never not liked Evan Peters before.
Yeah.
I hated that character. I hate it. Kai, I hate it. I don't like how they kept blaming her for her Jill Stein vote, and like it too much. Too real, too much at the wrong time.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like a proper, like, subtle reflection.
Right, he did a Cheeto facial, guys. The very first episode, when Donald Trump wins or whatever, Kai goes and, like, blends Cheetos together and rubs it on his face. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's there's obviously no subtlety. And
the way women are treated,
yeah, it's there is, you know, a right and a wrong way to reflect on societal themes, you know, in film, you know, but
and just showing us what's happening is not it.
Right, exactly. It's like and just yeah, like why? Like you could have done that so much differently. Like you could have made like a dystopian like society. That would have been fucking cool.
Made up a cult.
Yeah.
Like any cult in any time period would have done.
Right.
A cult about fragile masculinity right now doesn't work. Basically, we are seeing in real life the men that would have been in Kai's club or cult making laws right now that are affecting us and our friends who are LGBT, female, people of color. Mm-hmm. There are real world consequences that we are seeing from this cult. Mm-hmm. And so I can't with this season. I can't.
It's just, it's too much of a reflection. We already know it's already staring at us every fucking day. I don't need to watch a show about it. Right. I don't. Yeah. Soft reflections, sure, but not something that fucking hard. But not
something that's like, hey, here's what's actually happening in the world, maybe minus the murders?
Yeah.
Probably not, though, because trans women are getting killed every day, because people of color are getting killed every day, because women are getting killed every day, so...
yeah, it's
just, this season made me mad. It made me mad more than anything. And like I said, I watch American Horror Story and a lot TV. You watch TV in general as an escape. And watching Cult made it feel like there was no escape. So that's where I'm at with that. I do want to bring up one other thing. And we've talked about it on the news recently, if you've seen the news. The TV series Scream. The first 2 seasons were great. We've recently, and this is what we talked about on the news, we recently found out from the showrunners what their plans were for 3 and 4, seasons 3 and 4, which would have been fucking amazing, but some dumbass exec at MTV was like, fans wouldn't like that.
What the fuck would you know?
Right. So they were worried that Scream was going to go too meta. MTV, fuck you. But
what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Rather than just cancel the series after giving us 2 good seasons and just leaving it on a cliffhanger, they gave us a horrible Halloween movie special that had the same actors from the first 2 seasons, but they fucked everything up. And then they gave us a season 3 with completely new characters, new storyline, new mask. Didn't solve any of the stuff they left hanging from the first 2 seasons, which were superior. And what pisses me off about it is that everybody seems to be saying they didn't want to do the work to watch the first 2 seasons and get the new storyline, and they didn't like that they used a new mask. They didn't use the regular Scream mask.
The ghost face mask.
They came up with a new one because it's a new killer, Brandon James. So for the 3rd season, they gave us a horrible story, bad acting, but they gave us the original mask back, so everyone likes season 3. And it's not good. It's not. I'm sorry, I'm gonna burst your bubble. It's not. I hate it. I hate season 3 with a fiery passion. And I hate that they gave us that, especially after recently finding out what we could have had with that series. Oh, not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay.
No. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't just leave a whole bunch of cliffhangers and you're like, nah, we're gonna start right the fuck over. You can't do that.
And we're gonna call it season 3. Okay, why didn't you guys just reboot the whole series then? Like, it pisses me off.
Yeah, at that point.
That whole situation pisses me off. And it was more than a number. Like, it was more than even a number 1. So I was like, I need to just talk about this. Like, outside the list.
I don't blame you.
It just pisses me off. And yeah, that's why I devoted a whole news segment to going over what exactly we missed, what was supposed to happen in 3 and 4. because it's just bullshit.
It'd be like that sometimes.
It'd be like that.
Radical acceptance. Kids. That was fun,
That
right?
was fun. I got a lot off my chest. A
I'm
lot of
happy for
anger
you.
that I was holding.
I'm happy for you. I'm glad you were able to do that. Damn.
All right, so we don't know what our next show is going to be yet. We haven't picked a category or whatever.
We'll figure it out.
So it'll be a surprise to us and you.
It'll be fun.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment if you know anything you'd like us to count down. And it doesn't have to be horror. We'd prefer horror, but we like pop culture in general. So
yeah.
Tell us what you want us to talk about, things we hate. Like,
hell yeah.
we hate a lot of things, guys.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of hatred in my heart for sure, and I need to get it out.
Right. This is our therapy. All right.
Honestly.
This is our therapy.
Honestly, and it's cheaper, and we get to share that therapy with you. Come on, guys. That's a gift. It's a gift.
Tied up with a bow. All right.
I love it.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a great night. Get right.